Hi there, welcome to my views and news. For several days, I've been working on this video. I wanted to speak solely about the far region of Ethiopia. During the war, 2 year long Tigray war, I covered the developments in Afar too. I was in touch with people there on the ground. This region suffered a lot. One of the neglected regional states in Ethiopia is Afar region. Very strategic, but very neglected. And we remember that the people suffered a lot because of the infrastructure during war, because it was difficult for aid organizations to gain access to the people in need. There are no roads in parts of Afar, no healthcare facilities as well. People have to travel hundreds of miles to gain access to healthcare facilities. It seems that this region could be a battleground. Are the people, politicians, influential people, elders aware of the threat which this regional state is under? I want to share with you some developments which are happening, linked to Afar, linked to Eritrea, linked to Tigray, and some developments of the past. You know that this region has been, uh, this region suffered as a result of war too, Tigray war. Tigray fighters captured some warriors. They tried to march towards Ethiopia-Djibouti highway through the Afar region. Back then, Afar served as a base for regional forces, federal forces, Eritrean military to put Tigray under complete siege. Apart from war, we know that Eritreans sometimes use Afar region to enter Ethiopia. Eritrean migrants who flee their country, they enter Afar region, though it's very difficult terrain, by the way, to cross into Afar from Eritrea. It's not easy. But this route is used by some migrants. Eritrean government obviously does not want its people to enter Afar region of Ethiopia. It has been trying to monitor the border because Eritrea does not want Afars of Ethiopia and Afars of Eritrea to be in contact. And we know that this region has been involved in clashes with neighboring region to Somali region of Ethiopia. Somali Afar clashes erupted several times in the last few years over boundary issues. Then Fruit is operating here, Front for Restoration of Unity and Democracy is a Djibouti-based armed group of Afar people. It has its presence in the far region of Ethiopia too. Djibouti wants complete eradication of this group from Afar soil. A few days ago, Djibouti conducted a drone strike on Djibouti-Afar border. Civilians were killed. Djibouti said that Fruit fighters were killed. So this region is strategic. It has border with Eritrea, with Djibouti. Its borders are not safe. Border with Tigray, not fully secure because of participation of the region in war. Border with Somali region, again, issues about border demarcation. Border with Eritrea, heavily monitored by Eritrean government. Border with Djibouti, used by people who want to enter Djibouti illegally. In a video today, I told you about some shipments captured in a far region of Ethiopia. Shipments came to Afar from Tigray. It means smuggling networks also use Afar. Ethiopian smuggling networks use a far region to smuggle things out of Ethiopia through Djibouti by sea. The most pressing issue which this region is facing is the escalating tension between Eritrea and Ethiopia. Because Eritrean opposition groups have publicly announced that they will use Afar region as their base. Eritrean Afar National Congress (ENC) and Brigade Nehamado, their leaders, they publicly said that they want to start an armed movement against Eritrean government to topple Isaias Afwerki's government. And for that, they will use Afar region as their base. EANC has already established its headquarters in Samra Afar region. Rasado, Red Sea Afar Democratic Organization, is already based in the Afar region of Ethiopia. Rasado is another Eritrean opposition armed group backed and formed by EPRDF. Then it went dormant during the war. Now it is being reactivated. Rasado based in Afar, ENC based in Afar now. Brigade Nehamado based in Addis Ababa, but they have announced to use Afar as their base for anti-Eritrean government armament. You see now that anti-Eritrean government forces are entering Afar region of Ethiopia, backed by Ethiopian government. It means that Ethiopian government will train these Eritrean opposition groups on Afar soil. From there, it is easy to launch these movements into Eritrea, firstly. Secondly, local affairs will be involved too, I believe. PM Abiy's government will play a far card. Birhanu Mlengiso, Ethiopian minister a few weeks ago, said that affairs have right to access the sea. All affairs of Eritrea, affairs of Ethiopia, affairs of Djibouti, all have the right to gain access to sea. It means Ethiopian government wants Ethiopian affairs to march towards Assab to gain access to sea. It will use these affairs. It will use a far card. It will tell affairs of Ethiopia that the government is fighting for their right to gain access to sea. So they should be involved in this war. Local affairs will be recruited in militias, in armed groups to be launched against Eritrean government. You will see that. Eritrean government is not sleeping either. Obviously, when it knows that a threat is coming from the Afar region of Ethiopia, what will it do? Firstly, it will strengthen its defenses in the regional state of Afar, regional state of Eritrea, which shares border with Afar region of Ethiopia. It will ensure that links are cut off between the affairs of Ethiopia, affairs of Eritrea, between affairs of Eritrea and affairs of Djibouti. And secondly, it will try to penetrate Ethiopian Afar region. It will try to stop Eritrean opposition groups based in Afar region. It will try that these groups don't reach Eritrean soil. So I am seeing Eritrean intelligence agencies entry and intervention in the Afar region of Ethiopia in some form. You'll see that. That is why I'm saying that this region is under threat. This region could be a playground, could be a battleground for internal and external forces. Ethiopian government is likely to militarize Afar region, especially if tensions escalate between two countries, Ethiopia and Eritrea. You'll see militarization, you'll see weaponization of Afar region. You'll see building of military bases here. You'll see arrival of weapon systems, fighter jets, bombers, etc. The region which is in need of development, which is in need of education, which is in need of healthcare facilities, which is in need of roads infrastructure is going to be militarized. What should Afar people do? Well, it's up to them to decide what to do. I am no one to given advice, but this is what I am sharing. The picture, this larger picture is not being seen by Afar leaders, by Afar diaspora, by Afar influentials. Government is going to use them. Are they ready to be used? Government might use fruit as well. A lot, I think, will happen in the far region of Ethiopia. Uh, Eritrean opposition groups, Eritrean government, Ethiopian government, Afar militias, and other will emerge. Others will play major role in Afar in coming months. Let's hope that Abiy and Isaiah solve their issues through dialogue. If they don't start any dialogue and Ethiopia continues arming Eritrean opposition groups and Eritrea starts arming Ethiopian opposition groups too, it means that Afar region is set to be destabilized. Thank you for watching.